Jack Donovan Foley, born 1891, worked at Universal in Hollywood during the silent movie era. After Warner Brothers started releasing films with sound using the Vitaphone system, Universal followed. Since it was almost 20 years before magnetic tape would be available in America, the music and effects tracks were recorded live to phonograph disc just as they would have been done for a radio broadcast. The first film that Jack Foley added sound effects on was Showboat in 1929, a movie that was released as both a silent film and a talkie. Foley would watch the picture and duplicate what he saw the actors doing. When there were lots of effects happening all at once, Foley would get the props people to hand him what he needed at the proper moment. He would record the sound effects for an entire reel of film, approximately 10 minutes, in one take. Today, because of improved recording methods, Foley can be done in shorter segments and can also be edited to make a cue better match the picture. There are special Foley stages that have multiple types of floor surfaces and props available to match almost any scene. Jack Foley died in 1967, but in the film and audio vernacular, his name lives on.
Jack Foley, the father of Foley, or movie sound effects. In Jack's day, they were limited to what they could record in the sound studio, matching the film. Today, with digital, we're able to do so much more. We can layer sounds, layer tracks to create new sounds. Today, here in my home studio, my garage, purposely showing you my boom mic because that's what I'm using to record this, along with my Zoom H4n. I'm going to use some various props, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to add sound effects to make those props more realistic in my movie. One of the first things you want to do is lay down an ambient track or room noise. And to do that, basically you just be quiet and record the sounds of the room for a few minutes so that then you can loop it, or you can, just lay an underlying track, which I'll show you later in Premiere. So for my first sound effect, I'm going to use this cutlass as though I were in a sword fight in a movie. I'll record various usage of the cutlass, and then I'm going to download that onto my iPad, and then I'm going to use my iPad to try and match the sounds to make it more realistic and more dynamic. Watch. You'll notice with my boom mic, didn't make very much sound, but wait and see. Now I have this like play bullwhip. It really is just a prop. It's not even a real bullwhip. I think, I paid like 99 cents for this or something. But you'll notice, not really good sound. But if we were making Indiana Jones or Zorro or something like that, we would definitely want a snap and crack on this whip. So let's go to the sound studio. Okay, I'm back. I've downloaded what I just recorded and converted it so now I can show it on my iPad here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the video I just made on my iPad, and using just a few simple objects, I'm going to try and recreate the sounds that I want to be heard in my movie. To record, I'm only using the built-in mics on the Zoom H4n. And of course, when you're doing this, you're going to want to hear what you're recording. So I'm going to put on some headphones. Okay, now I'm going to play my video. I'm going to mute the sound. We're able to do so much more. For the cutlass, I'm just going to use some tongs, kitchen tongs. That's all they are. Okay, so there we made some sword sounds just with kitchen tongs. We'll go back later and we'll add a layer into our soundtrack, and we'll see how that sounds. Let's move on to the bullwhip. I'm just going to use paint sticks. Who knew? Sounds like a whip cracking to me. What about that swoosh sound as the whip moves through the air and recoils? I'm just passing my paint stick by the microphones. Now we'll just track that in with our snap, with our ambient sound, and I think we're going to get some pretty good sound effects. Let's go see. I know, a little cheesy, a little amateurish, but with a little bit more time, a little bit more effort, it could really sound great, very crisp. As you can see by these screenshots, I've added multiple layers. I have my background track, I've added some music, which adds to the ambience. If I were making a big production, obviously I'd put a little bit more time and care into it, but you can see what you can do just in your garage. So there you have it. Sound effects.